Hey boys, is there anything better than beating the Leafs? Hey.
Buddy, isn't it just great beating the Jets? I honestly, the Leafs have beat. Oh my gosh, my dog's going nuts. He's excited because the Leafs beat the Jets too. But isn't it crazy that the Leafs have won what, like 8 straight games or something like that against Winnipeg? Ever since Mark Scheifele said that whole thing of is there anything better than beating the Leafs? Well, you haven't beat them in a while. Now, to be fair, looking at the standings, you've won 8 straight games going into this game against the Leafs, and 6 of those games you trailed and you've come back and won. And then yet, of course, looking at this calendar, looking at the Leafs have lost 3 straight games. They had that terrible giveaway by Austin Matthews against Boston in overtime after he scored the goal to tie the game late, assisted by Mitch Marner. You're like, this is the game where the Leafs win. And you're looking at them, and they're playing against Connor Hellebuyck, and next thing you know, it's 1-0 Toronto. And it's John Tavares with Max Pacioretty and William Nylander, and they had a great game. +3 for Tavares, +3 for Pacioretty. I think Nylander, Marner, Matthews +2. Everyone was a plus tonight, and Pacioretty had 3 assists, and Tavares had 3 goals, and Nylander scored 2, and it was just phenomenal. The first goal, Max Pacioretty, a one-handed pass over to John Tavares after some great forechecking, cycle play, getting the puck up to the point as McCabe gets it through to Pacioretty. Pacioretty, one hand, using his right hand on his stick, just fires it across to Tavares, who taps it in. That made it 1-0. And it's going great. And then Pacioretty finds William Nylander in the slot. And why would you leave William Nylander wide open? And I know Hellebuck's really good, but William Nylander just goes, I'm going to pick the blocker side. I'm going top corner. And that made it 2-0. And it was really fun. And then Matt Nyes was like, I want to get involved here. So Matt Nyes scored. Was that the 3rd goal or the 4th goal? He scored. Hellebuyck wasn't even the net at that time, but it's Matthews and Marner doing their thing, and Matt Nyes picking up the rebound from a Matthews shot, and it was so good. And like William Nylander obviously scored the 2nd goal, and he wasn't done. He made this beautiful pass, like no-look backhand pass to Morgan Rielly, who sniped over Hellebuck's shoulder, and I think that made it 4-0. Or Rielly and Nyes might have been swished. I can't really remember. I was just ecstatic. I remember calling my dad going, is this real life? And then right when I said that, he goes, that's a mistake. And it was for a little bit, but then it wasn't, because the Leafs held the lead, and they won. But it was 4-0. It was a beautiful shot by Morgan Rielly. And then, of course, Kyle Connor, who was just lights out this year and has been lights out for a long time. He just doesn't get the recognition that he deserves. He scores. And then I think he scores again. And that made it 4-2. And then at the tail end of the period, because there's lots of penalties, OEL's just like, find me here, find me there. Peros, I don't know what I'm going to do, but I might do a little bit of a boarding here. And are you going to find me $5,000 for this one? Probably. So there was lots of penalties, which sucked. Like, OEL's, it happens. Morgan Rielly threw one over the glass. Those kind of penalties, it sucks, but at least did all right. God, that Winnipeg power play is phenomenal. They're just zipping that puck around. Obviously, Connor scored, but it was 4-2, and we're all a little bit nervous. And then it's Pacioretty, who I thought scored the goal, but no, it was John Tavares who scored to make it 5-2 going into the 3rd period, and they're doing all right. The Leafs had 20 shots almost in the 1st period, and they were at 35 or something like that going into the 3rd, and you're like, okay, yeah. Of course, Winnipeg's going to be going at them. They had a 4-0 lead. They have to press. Like, what's the difference between losing 4-0 and 7-0? Not much. And it was working. So then, of course, what do they got? Does Kyle Connor get his 3rd one there? He thinks he gets his 3rd one, but it's he scored, but it went off Velarde, or maybe that was the 4th goal they scored to make it 5-4. But I know Scheifele had a one-timer, and I'm pretty sure it was assisted by Connor and Morris. He was, again, the whole zippity-doo-dah, zippity-day all around. And then, obviously, like I said, Kyle Connor scored as well, but it went off Velarde, so they threw hats on the ice, but it wasn't a hat trick for him. That brought him within 1 goal, so I think that was it. So they had to pick up those hats. Then they pulled the goalie and the Leafs hunker down, and it's John Tavares who scores. And then you had to throw the hats back on because he got a hat trick. They just went, woo! I know I would have if I was there, because there was a lot of Leafs in Winnipeg for a Winnipeg home game. So in the end, Toronto, who was up 4-0, almost blows the lead, but doesn't, comes out with a 6-4 win against the then undefeated Winnipeg Jets. Holy, that was exhausting. Oh, that was my hair. I don't even care. The The Toronto Maple Leafs took a team who hadn't lost all season. They took a team who had been down for 6 of their 8 wins, and they still pulled off the W. They took themselves, who had 1 point in their last 3 games, who played amazing at Tampa Bay, got absolutely gobsmacked against Columbus, and then Berube going back to St. Louis, or no, maybe St. Louis came to Toronto. Yeah, St. Louis came to Toronto and beat the hell out of the Leafs, and then they buggered it up against Boston. They come into Winnipeg and they just crashed and crashed and crashed. They crashed the net. They crashed the boards. It was a dump and chase. They were beating guys to the puck. They just looked really good. They got that 4-0 lead. They sat back a little bit. And then when Winnipeg started to score, it was like Berube said, boys, get on it again. And then they did. And Tavares scored to make it 5-2. And in the end, they held on to the lead against a very, very, very good Jets team. Connor Hellebuck is one of the best goalies in the NHL. I know so because I have him in fantasy. And last night, I was happy as can be seeing my fantasy points just plummet. And I will take that any day. Leafs win against the Winnipeg Jets. Oh, that was fun. That was fun. Anyway, comment down below your thoughts on the game. I kind of blacked out there. I don't even really know what I said. I mumbled a lot, I know so. Completely worth it. Go Leafs go. Oh man, Toronto always wins on Amazon Prime. I'm liking this. I'm really, really liking this.